Welcome to the latest video from all the footage I got from Wales when we went to Moto Fest. So this is purely going to be me taking my bike out on the track for the first time. Now if you don't know what these sessions were, then basically they were running 15-minute sessions where you could take your road legal bike. You didn't have to wear a one piece like I'm doing, as long as you were wearing road suitable gear. Then you could take your bike on. You were just following instructors, or rather leaders. There was a briefing at the beginning, obviously, to explain like the rules, what we do, what we don't do, but it was essentially aimed at being a taster session. This wasn't about like breaking lap times or anything like that, but for someone like me who's never taken my bike out on the track and just wanted to get like a cool experience, this was ideal, really. So as you can see, we're just riding the bikes onto the meeting point on the track. There was a quick briefing, obviously, about safety, the rules about overtaking, where you can only overtake on a straight and you can never overtake the leaders for obvious reasons. There were 8 of us in total. Some people were on test bikes, others were on their road bikes like me, and they split us into 2 groups, so they staggered, you know, the approach onto the track. And then basically over the course of the 15 minutes the leaders got progressively quicker to a point where I certainly felt like I wasn't being limited. I will probably do a bit of voiceover for this footage, you know, as some highlights, I guess, but then we sort of nattered on the way out of the festival to sort of debrief, so you not only get to hear my experience but you also get to hear Noah's experience. It was both of our first times on the track, so it was obviously we're not coming from experienced riders that have done track days. Conditions, there was quite a big downpour earlier that day and the track was still damp. Obviously I'm running Michelin Pilot 6, which I was told by the instructor there that they were the best tyres I could have for especially this sort of condition, which was great, but I was still struggling with a bit of confidence to properly lean the bike over because it was cold. Obviously I wouldn't have time to warm up the tyres, and obviously I'm not the most knowledgeable about things like racing lines and everything like that. Obviously the first few laps I'm just trying to get a feel for the track and trying not to get in anyone's way. Once it was opening it up, I was more confident in sort of like using my brakes a bit more, getting more and more confident, sort of like shredding off quite a bit of speed, which obviously enabled me to build up the speed as well. I'll say this later on, but there's one sort of like bend that you can't see. You go up a hill and then it's an immediate left followed by an immediate right, and every single time that came up I just sort of lost it. I didn't quite find where I wanted to be until towards the end, where I sort of got there. But as you can see, I'm nowhere near dragging knee or anything, but it was very, very cool to, obviously I wasn't paying attention to my speedo, I wasn't doing anything like, you know, that you'd have to do on the standard road ride. What I'll do is I'll continue playing some of this footage over the debrief on the ride home, because I can sit here and talk about like the experience now, but it's been almost a month since I've done this, so I think hearing my thoughts directly after the ride would probably be better.
You ready?
Yeah. Thank you.
Come on. Yeah, that was fun as fuck. Like, it was very short lived for 15 minutes. I felt like that didn't last 15 minutes. But
I'll be honest, I thought it was long, but that's because in my head we were doing 5 laps like the pillion thing, and then when I realised I'd already done 5 laps and I was expecting the checkered flag and it wasn't there, I was like, oh yeah, I've got more time. That's like, you know, when you wake up and you've still got like an hour before your alarm goes off. That's how that felt.
As soon as the briefing ended, I did get like really anxious. I was like, fucking hell, I'm actually taking the bike around the track. But that's the perfect like taster session.
Yeah, it was good. At one point I was like concerned because, like, you know, at like lap 2 or 3 everyone was bunching up, and
yeah,
then our
because everyone was looking
passed.
to overtake.
Yeah, our instructor passed and I was like, oh, do I, like, I could have opened the bike up more, but I was always conscious of getting...
Well, I mean, like, you did it, I saw you did it exactly when you should have, which is you go on the straight. If you just happen to be like just barely overtaking just as you're coming up to a corner, they're not going to fucking shout at you. But
yeah,
usually
the first overtake was that really slow guy, and I overtook, and then the corner came up quicker than I thought, and I was like, fuck, I hope I haven't messed up his line.
See, I was really surprised at how slow they were going.
Yeah, but then
like,
I guess
no hate or anything.
He was test riding a bike, wasn't he? And I feel like I'd be the same, because I would, like, God forbid I ruin that bike,
like,
you know?
you'd go down the, you just brake earlier, I thought. I'd send it down the straight and then just, like, brake extremely early.
That's
but everyone's
different. I didn't really trust my brakes.
Everyone's idea of sensible is different, though, so... But yeah, we were behind him, and I saw him looking over his shoulder in his mirrors, like, watching me. And I was like, every single straight, I'd get up to him, and then it would get to a corner, and I'm like, I have to slow down now. But I was like, I'll show you in the video, but I was really close to coming up to, like, the same spot we were where we started, where I was literally just sat behind you the whole time. But that was a really fun experience. I recommend it to a lot of people. I would.
What made me laugh is when we were doing the briefing, I was like, conscious of the fact that in the circle of us, I was literally a foot shorter than everyone there. Yeah, because we were I'm kind of glad we were at the back of the pack. I'd feel like I'd feel too pressured.
Back of the pack is always like the safest, and I'd say is also like it is an advantageous spot, either the front or the back, because the back lets you gauge like how everyone like it was riding.
I liked being able to see everyone in front. Like only you were behind, and obviously I know how you ride, so I wanted to see everyone else.
There were so many spots where I knew I could have like improved my time, as it were.
I don't think I did a single good lap. I just had good moments, and then every lap there was something that was like, oh, I should not have done that. Like that uphill bit, I always forgot how sharp it was, and then scared myself. Fucking Cardo died. I had it on charge all morning. Oh well, I'll chat to you on my own then. That was the first time I've like actually been out on track. It was definitely a good way of doing it. There are some corners that I really sort of felt like I kept my speed, which was quite nice, but then hairpins are definitely, I just lose all I don't like doing U-turns on this bike anyway, and hairpins are like, well, in this weather, it just was definitely not my strong point. I felt my tyres slip once, but it was very, very mild. But I feel like I was just being a bit overcautious. Because the one downside of doing any sort of track experience this way is like, if I crash the bike, I've got no way of getting home. Like I need to get a recovery vehicle and all that, whereas if I have a dedicated track bike, then obviously I'm a bit more free in terms of my choice. Because if I do crash, I still wouldn't want to, but you know, it's not the be all end all. But no, I really enjoyed that session, and then we've got lots that we want to book in for tomorrow and make it more of like the experiences day. I'm glad the weather cleared up though, because I wouldn't want to do that in the pouring rain. Yeah, I feel like the biggest downside of that is I was quite tense, I guess. Like I tried to shift off the seat occasionally, but obviously as a new experience, part of it was just getting used to it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. Tired in a good way, and tomorrow's got the most stuff that we want to do, but like as in we're gonna plan to do the most stuff. But like, I'm ready for a nice warm drink and some digestive biscuits. I want to be wrapped up in a blanket. We're not in a leather suit anymore, as comfy as it is.